Hi, everyone, and good evening once again. Welcome to the webinar. It's a pleasure that you all are here once again to listen to a new topic and to learn something, different, or to learn the same things but in a more effective manner, right? Well, speaking of the same, I think the participation right now is just very, very low. We'll just wait for 5 to 6 minutes more before we start with the webinar, right? And I do request all of you to drop a message in your WhatsApp groups and wherever you interact with the other teachers, friends, and colleagues. That the webinar has started and they all can start joining, so that everybody can have the maximum benefit from the same. Yeah. Uh, uh, Hi Aparna ji, hi Anupam ji, hi Madhumita ji, hi. Good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. And yeah, I am running pretty sick since the last week. I think it's the weather. I hope I get well soon, and my voice reverts back to the normal again. So that I can deliver more efficiently what I deliver. But yeah, I really hope that you all, are doing well and living a very good life as of now, healthy and wise. And yeah, news of virus is spreading again. If we see somewhere or the other, right, something or the other, is coming up, and we need to take care, as we used to take care earlier, okay, in the time of the pandemic. So just take care of yourselves. And yeah, it's 5:55. We have 5 to 6 minutes more. Hi, Jisha ji. Hi. Pleasure to see you here again. Hi, Ritu ji. Hi, Deepak ji. Hi. All right. So teachers are joining, I think, slowly and steadily. The participation will rise. And show a very drastic, increase till 6 p.m. Till then, we'll wait for the other teachers to join in for the webinar, and so that everybody can have the maximum impact from the same. Yeah. Um, Okay, all of you who have joined till now, right? Can you just tell me that what do you think, about today's topic? I know today's topic is something, which is kind of very, very simple, but again, as I always say, webinars are always not about, telling you something new, but it's always about telling you something which maybe you already know and you are not using it in your daily curriculum or in your daily classes, right? Sometimes the things we know are not implemented, and sometimes the things we implement are really not worthy of knowing, and that's the difference actually. Anyways, any thoughts on the topic for today? As you all can see on the screen, till the other teachers join, we can have a little discussion on the same, and then we'll move ahead. Again, pardon my voice, and good evening once again to whosoever has joined new. It's just I'm running sick, and I'm really, really sorry for the same. Thank you so much for adjusting, with my sickness, and with my voice and everything, and still joining the webinar, to show participation and encouragement. That means really a lot. Hi, Seema ji. Hi, Sarika ji. Hi, Shashi ji. Hi, everyone. Hi, Abdul ji. Pleasure to see you here again. Hi, Kamalam ji. Hello. Trishur, Kerala. All right. Maybe all the teachers can introduce themselves, like Kamalam ji, in the chat box, which school they teach and where are they from, so that everybody gets a basic idea, that okay, how many teachers are there from their space or their own school, and maybe they do not know, that's something which is very interesting. Yeah, you can message each other as well if you want. And Seema ji, don't direct message me, just message like in the group so that everybody can view your responses. Hi Simran ji, hi Urmila ji, hi everyone. Pleasure to see you all here again, and thank you so much for joining the webinar. We'll start the webinar by 6 p.m. or 6:02 or 3 p.m. Just wait for 5 6 minutes more for other teachers to join so that everybody can take the maximum benefits from the same. Yeah. Hi Shankar ji, hi Kulbir ji, hi Shivesh ji, hi Rashmi ji, hi Punita ji. Welcome to the webinar and good evening. Hi Sumana ji. Sumana ji, seen you before also, I think, in our webinars. So yeah, thank you so much for joining again. Hi Rajni ji. Hi Ramashankar ji. Hi Preeti ji. Hi Minakshi ji. Good evening, everyone. All right. So I think it's it's the time is 5:59 p.m. and I just want to know now all of you what do you think on the topic for today. As you see on the screen, our topic for the day. What do you think on the same? What are your thoughts on the same? Please do let me know your responses in the chat box. Again, as I always say that every webinar has its own expectations, right? When we read a topic, when we see a poster for a particular webinar, we come with a certain kind of expectation that we are going to learn this thing in today's webinar, right? But something which I want to clear before this webinar is that today's webinar is all about average students, right? But it's not about the normal students at all. It's about those average students who are everywhere. It's about those average students who need attention. It's about how to make those average students catch up to the normal students in the most normalized simple ways, right? Now again, the top 5 things which we are going to discuss in this webinar, you might be already knowing. Okay, so you might be already knowing the same, and if you don't know the same, I would be really glad to teach you the same, right? But if you already know the same, just remember that maybe the things it has to be used in a more efficient, effective manner by you, so that everybody can gain the maximum benefit. Okay, just give me 1 minute. uh all right. Okay. All right, so happy evening and welcome to the webinar once again. It's 6:01 p.m. and now is the time we are going to start with the webinar. So, as some teachers replied, in the chat box, it's need for the hour, quiz, debate. It's a challenge for a teacher to improve, an average student. We should accept it, right? Um, uh, Again, I think Mr. or Mrs. R has replied that since we are aware not all children are the same, I would like to believe that educators need to include all of them in the classroom. Medium and interest them as everyone is having different interests. Definitely. Oh, hi, Uma Kalaji. Pleasure to have you here again in the webinar. Many of you, I realize from the names because you come every time you come, you reply and you show interactiveness, in the chat box. It's easy for me to point out, that some teachers have joined again, after the last webinar. It's really good to see that actually. All right. Um, Okay. So teachers. All right. Good evening, good afternoon, and happy evening, and welcome to the webinar once again. And I'm really excited to start the topic for the day. Quickly moving ahead, what do you think can be the top 5 things which can help an average student improve? Or what are your thoughts on the topic when you read the topic on the screen? What are your thoughts on the same? The first word which comes to your mind. Just tell me the first word quickly, everyone, whosoever has joined the webinar for the day. Just tell me the first word which comes to your mind when you read the topic for the day on the screen. More practice, all right. Inclusive classroom, all right. Two. Any more responses? I just got two till now. The first word, performance, need of the hour. Okay, okay. Anything. The first word, phrase, sentence which came to your mind. Regularity, remedial classes, focus, concept clarity. Okay. Focus. Okay. Spend more time. Okay, all right. Anything else? Talent, involvement, concentration, practice. All right. Extra attention. Stand in their own class, own shoes. Sorry. More attention. Okay. All right. Comprehension. All right. Anything else which comes as the first word, or as the first phrase in your mind? Worksheets, level of the child, pay more attention and talk in different ways. Creative class. Okay. Anything else from the others? Retention tricks. Okay. Giving importance to all. Yes, definitely. Not to compare with anyone. Yes. Definitely. Flip classroom, yes. Learning with activities, practice with focus, motivation, yes, definitely. All right. So Focus on backbenchers, definitely, definitely. Use mind map to make subject easy, definitely. Play method with activity, simplified material. All right. The agenda behind, encouraging this discussion right now, and telling all of you to post a response in the chat box was to, break the ice, in the session, right? The session always should start, with an interaction wherein all the other teachers should also get an idea, what others are thinking, and what I am thinking, and how more, how much more I can think, right? So when you read other people's responses, when you interact with other people, okay, when you interact in this particular chat box of Zoom, you give yourself an opportunity, you give others an opportunity to present their ideas, and you give yourself an opportunity to think more in the stipulated period of time. Okay. Now, that is one reason, I always encourage some participation in the beginning of the session. But there's also another reason for the participation, which I will tell you during the end of the webinar. All right. Now, just a simple message from the Homework App and team. As always, you get participation certificate for each and every webinar you attend. How you get the certificate is, I'll send a Google form during the end of the webinar. Just fill the form with correct details. All right. Again, second thing is, the app also gives you the opportunity to earn rewards, to earn certificates or your own benefit, and which is again completely free of cost, right? All you need to display is your skills and talents. But how can you participate in the Smart Teacher Festival? Basically, you need to join the WhatsApp group. If there are any new teachers, okay, we send a Google form link for the certificate at the end of the webinar. As soon as you fill the form, there will be a WhatsApp joining link after the form, right? During the end of the form, just click on the button and you will join the WhatsApp group automatically. So the team will direct you there how to earn the Smart Teacher certificate and the Smart Teachers kit, which is worth rupees 1999. Okay, that is just a small message from the team. You all can take a screenshot also if you want. The first thing you will get by filling the form. Second one, you will be able to participate by joining the WhatsApp group. Okay. Now, okay, average students, okay, every class has them, right? Don't they have it? And what about your class? I want to know. Everyone here, every class has, an average student, or a group of average student, right? Um, your class might be having, a lot more as well. But what do you think is the percentage, of average student your class has? 30%, 20%, 45%? Maybe it's just for your subject, or maybe it's just for all subjects. What do you think? What is the percentage of students who are average in general? 40%, 30%, okay. 25, 30, 40, okay. 50%, okay, okay. 30 to 40% again. All right, all right, okay, all right. Okay. Okay, 15 and 20%. That's actually a good percentage. 60% as well. Okay, okay, all right. Oh my God. 60% people are average. Okay. 40%, 30. All right. If I have to take out an average from all the responses I've received in the chat box, I would say that the major response came, as 30%, right? 30%, of a class, is an average, are filled with average students who are not able to grab the concepts easily, right? Okay, Kulbirji says after pandemic it is more than 50%. Yes, Kulbirji, I can understand the pain actually. Happens, ma'am. You can't help it. So, all right, thank you so much for your responses. So, again, as you saw the responses in the chat box, your own response and the other teacher's response, you can realize, that each and every class has around 30 to 40% of average students. Some classes have 60%, and after pandemic, it has increased more and more. So, what do you think can be, the reasons, for a student being average, right? Agar 30% average hai, if 40 to 50% are average, why are they? Maybe they are natural underperformers. Some students who perform, under the grade or under the line, since, the beginning, UKG, LKG to perform under the line. But some show a downfall, with time. If the graph is like this, if you all can see my video, just see, if the graph is like this, it comes down like this, in a slanting manner from left to right. Okay, the graph, falls, right? So some show a downfall with time, right? How natural students come, they come these two ways. या तो naturally underperform करेंगे, ये time के साथ नीचे गिरते जाते हैं. But क्यों गिरते हैं? उसके भी factors होंगे, right? Several factors are there, and according to research papers, statistics, and the other researches, which are carried out in schools across India, it has been found that students show a downfall with time. Right, some students who are bright earlier, 8 9 may, Anita was very bright, but after 8 and 9, okay, Anita, showed a vast, or a major downfall, okay, in her studies. 10th, 11th, 12th, okay, was a major downfall. It all went to the gutter. But why? Family issues, peer problems, confidence issues. Okay, many children, who come, they face, especially in India, I think all of you as a parent know, that a child has to face a lot, in their families, right? And in India, we don't have a system of counselors. Okay, in colleges, you have right now, counselors, to whom you can go and talk as a student about your problems. But schools don't have a system of counselors. Most of the schools don't have. Some might be having, and that's very good. People face family issues, people face drama, major drama, in their life. Sometimes because of their father, sometimes because of their mother, sometimes some other family issue, the environment, etc. And then again, the schools don't have counselors. So those kind of students, have shown a major downfall, as per statistics and research. Peer problems, when a student is disturbed, okay, internally, अगर mind ही disturbed है, बच्चा कहाँ से आगे बढ़ेगा? So if the student is disturbed internally, they're not able to gel in with their peers, the way they should. They're not able to open up to their peers as well. They're not able to hang out. They're not able to enjoy the way they should, which stops their mental growth, okay, and the holistic development of their personality as well. Confidence issues are jati hai because of all these things. They're not able to stand in a group. They're not able to present themselves in a group. And because of all this pressure, it ultimately connects, to that everything, okay, becomes underperforming. Not only studies, but daily life, maybe they start underperforming, okay, in everything. They lose confidence, detachment issues. They detach from everything, If the grades are down, they're down. I don't care. If my family is having problems, they're having problems. They always have problems. I don't care. If my peers don't like me, I don't care. If I don't go to school, I don't care. Detachment issues come to children. And all these pointers are not some pointers, I bought from anywhere. These pointers are after reading a lot of blogs, articles, and research papers which are posted on children's psychology. And which is very important to understand, because yeah, even in the pandemic, if you all saw the news during the pandemic, there were so many family issues cases, which came. Do you remember? During the pandemic, so many family issues cases came because people were together all the time. People were getting divorced, people were doing what and not okay in the pandemic. People face things, and then concepts become hard to grab, right? When you are disturbed, okay. Rama Shankar ji, actually, that we shared during the end of the webinar, sir, the attendance link. Well, concepts become hard to grab, right? Agar you are a child who is mentally and psychology disturbed, okay, from the home, from the peer, and when you're going to school, maybe as a teacher, sometimes you also are very hard on a particular student, right? Maybe a student is very mannerless. Maybe a student is very stubborn to understand certain things, okay, or to hear to you. You might think, that कितना बदतमीज है, इसको तो क्लास के बाहर ही रखना है, या इसको तो बात ही नहीं सुननी है. But as a teacher, I think you should also understand, that maybe they're not getting support from anywhere in their life. They can be naturally stubborn and mannerless as well, but maybe there's a chance, that they've seen a lot at their homes, and other places. And that is why they don't get to open up a lot except the place, okay, which is called classroom. Maybe that is why, they behave like that. And maybe you should stop being so hard to them, when they don't understand the concepts pretty well, or maybe when they are just, a little pain to you, in the classes. Maybe just a little light approach to them, can actually modify the behavior of certain students, okay, in the class. Distraction, obviously, drugs, smoking, drinking, especially standard 9 to 12 students, all the high school kids. This problem is a major problem, right? Everybody has seen this. They fall into various gangs and groups, and they start doing smoking, drinking, drugs because they think it's cool, it's very cool. These kind of things, will help them to end up in different peer groups, okay, which are kind of a cool circle. And it will basically give them a pavement, for the future group as well, and make their name and fame in school, for which every school children craves. All these things also can lead, okay, to the average performance, okay, of a student, in the classroom, right? Pre-age relationships and engagements, okay, that is something which is not new. I think you all as a teacher maybe is seeing and witnessing much more than I sitting here. right? Children fall into these things early, they don't understand, certain things, and they. Yes, Seemaji, yes, definitely. Some parents are not aware that, leaving studies, their mind diverts to like hundreds, of things. Oh, thanks you, Neetu ji, for asking. Ma'am, I'm just sick from the last 1 week. I hope I get well soon. And I'm feeling well than before, but I hope I get well soon. All right. Okay. So again, these things, are very, very, especially the last 2 points, are the major, major things which I saw in the research papers, especially the pre-age relationship. You get into, relationships with people at the age of 16 and 17, but you don't know exactly what a relationship is. And, relationship has its own drama, which again disturbs, the psychology of a children, or psychology of the student, their perspective, towards life, towards beautiful things, like love and relationships change, which also starts affecting their studies, their sports and other activities they are involved. So again, another issues, which apart from the previous slide, are uninteresting, boring classes, right? Some classes again might be just very uninteresting, or very boring for certain students if you teach the traditional way to them. A key method, if you are following again and again and again, right? It actually affects the students, in a lot of ways. They just don't want to listen to you the next time. You only think there are 210 teachers, okay, in this particular webinar, okay, 210 teachers, and every time I come to the webinar, I bring the same kind of, concepts. I bring the same kind of PPTs. I bring the same kind of traditional PPTs, and I don't think interesting as such. Okay, sorry for that. Yeah. So I don't bring anything interesting as such. Would you want to listen to me? Just say a yes or a no. If I bring the same, bookish, if I bring the same bookish concepts every time and I teach you the same way in the webinar, would you want to listen to me? You would not. After a certain time, you will just feel the webinar is boring and you leave the webinar. That is what happens with the students as well, teachers. If you come with a book in hand and notes, every time, okay, in the classroom, would they want to listen to you? They would not, right? Boring ho jati hai na cheeze. We are human beings, we need change. That is how our minds are characterized, we want new things. That is why all of you join the webinar again and again, because you want new things, you want to learn new things. The mind is very, very, let's say, is devilish. The mind is devilish, it wants new things, it wants more. That is how you should, think about your own classes, as well. Exactly, Tina ji. The behavior of parents has a great impact on children, and parents don't understand. Especially I feel that, in India, the family, okay, in India, the way the family works, an uneducated family works is very different. They treat the child in a way, which is very unacceptable, and everything is normalized, in our country. You do anything to the child, you beat him, you slap him, you throw him on the road, you do anything to him. You shout at your child in front of 100 people. You can do anything to him because he is your child. That is a mentality, and that is wrong. People don't understand the same, but I will definitely have a session on, the psychology of a child, because I want to do that session, once with all of you. It's a very good session. I think you will all will love it. Well, that's a talk for another time. So moving back to the topic, teachers who are too tough to, reach out. If you're too tough in your classroom, if you're too tough on children when you teach a topic, they'll not be able to ask you doubts, right? They will not be able to reach you out to ask anything. So I think an ambivert personality, of a balanced approach, towards students, wherein you are strict as well as not strict, friendly and strict, I think is the approach you should take for your classes. uh, Too friendly, not good, because they will take you for granted. Too strict, again, not good, because they will just not like your classes, and if they don't like you, they will not like your subject, they'll not like your classes. That's for sure. If you want them to like your subject, first make them like you. That is how psychology works, that is how the classes work. आप अपने आप को लाइक करवाइए, सब्जेक्ट अपने आप बच्चों को पसंद आने लगेगा, because it's you who teach the subject, it's you who make the subject interesting. Another point is another point is unsupportive environment, right? Racism, peer superiority, and these kind of things happen. Some students, who come from very rich families, might show that, might show, or or might reflect um the kind of richness they have in front of other students, and make them feel uncomfortable, make them feel unincluded. If you are black in color, if you don't have a skin color which is normally accepted, as in India, we all know we are attracted to beauty. We are attracted to beauty as in, if you're fair, you are beautiful, but if you're dark, you're not beautiful. That is how the gutterish Indian mindset works. I'm sorry, but yeah, that is how it is in India, and which is very, very wrong, and nobody teaches on these topics. But these things somewhere, indirectly or directly creates a pressure, a peer pressure, and it creates an unsupportive environment in the school, and it becomes very difficult for some students to sustain, okay, in the same, right? I want to discuss another small thing, with all of you right now. How many of you know about different kinds of sexuality, in children, and how many of your schools support that the same in your classes or in your school? How many schools of yours are open to accepting children of different sexualities, whether they are homosexual or bisexual, or whether they are monogamous, etc.? How many of your schools accept the same? I want to know that first. We are heterosexuals, right? A female attracted to a male, that is heterosexual, opposite genders. There are some students, right, who are who are attracted to their kind of people, men to men or women to women, right? And they behave in a certain manner, they have their own characteristic. How many of your school are supportive of the LGBTQ community? Any answers on the same? None of your schools? No provisions for the same? Even the government has passed an act on the same, but the schools haven't. Exactly, Kavita ji. See, that's the problem. What about other teachers? I want to see the responses. Okay, okay, all right. Thank you, thank you. Okay. In my school, basically, why I raised the topic is because, yeah, so basically in my school, there were some people who used to belong to different genders, okay, and different sexualities. And the school was very supportive of them, but the other children were not. And because of that, because of the peer pressure, because of the way the other children behave towards such students, behave towards such people, made them leave the school. They quit school. These children quit school because of that, and no action was taken against by the school as well. So all I'm trying to say is, we live in a diverse world right now. The government, the world, is becoming diverse, and open, every day, right? And acceptability is a major, major thing, which should come from the schools first, okay, and then the teachers. It also creates a peer pressure. It also creates a mental pressure and leads students to quit sometimes, their education. Yeah. I was just talking about the unsupportive environment. If anybody is not following, that is the third point. Yeah. Third point, the unsupportive environment. Okay, racism, peer superiority. I was just talking on the same, Sanjeev ji. Well, uh, yeah, that's what children are not aware of these, and schools don't teach this, and that's again a major problem. If you read more journals and articles, these kind of things has to be included in the curriculums. It's basic knowledge about humans and human beings, but it's not included. Well, anyways, moving ahead, concepts explained the hard way. If you are a school teacher, right, and if you explain, let's say if you are teaching a classroom of bio or physics or chemistry, right? Some teachers have a very typical teaching style, right? They stick to one teaching style for all the classes, and it might become very hard, to teach all the concepts, okay, with the same style. So when you teach every concept with the same monogamous style, maybe it becomes very hard for the students, to adapt to the same, and that is something again which leads, to average behavior. Okay, unsupportive parents, lack of counselors in schools. Again, so all these things we discussed right now, okay, are several factors which are observed, okay, leading to students' downfall and making them average, right? So what we discussed till now, just a breadcrumb navigation in the last 20 minutes. Who are average students? How to become average? What are the several factors, okay, which leads to a student becoming average? All right, all right. Just a quick, interesting time for you. Average students who became successful in life, and then I'll discuss the factors which can lead to the success of average students in schools. Do you know any one of them? Quickly, any one of them? Do you know any one of them? Anyone? I'll just give you a hint that the other person here, this one, he hosts, yeah, America's Got Talent. Yeah, yeah, Simon Cowell. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Rita ji, thank you. Anybody else knows who's the first pick? The first one. I want to know, please. Who is the first one? The first pick. Yes, Krishna ji. Previous slide is here. You can take a screenshot or note down if you want. Yes, Savita ji, America's Got Talent judge. Yes, yes, yes. You know, Krishna ji, kindly explain the previous. Krishna ji, which point do you exactly want me to go back to? I'll just explain it quickly. Sujata ji, no, not Sachin Tendulkar. Albert Einstein, no, no. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, this is interesting. No, no, no. Next slide. This one, Krishna ji. Are you talking about this like Krishna ji? I'm just confused. Okay, okay, fine. Okay. So yeah, this is Simon Cowell, who is America's Got Talent judge as of now, and again a billionaire. This is Richard Branson. Okay, again a very very popular businessman, earning a lot of money right now, and both of them are average students in school and then college dropouts. And now you can see where are they. Okay, these are Indian people. Come on, quickly. Can you tell me who is this? He's the owner of Oyo, the CEO of Oyo, the founder of Oyo actually. I think everybody might be knowing this. No, Savitaji, not Bill Gates. That was Richard Branson. Anybody knows who is this? Come on, teachers. It's Oyo, Oyo. Yes, Ritesh Agarwal. Yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes, Sujata. Yes, 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 yes. Understood, understood, ma'am. Thank you. Sachin Tendulkar. Yes, ma'am. Even that was mediocre. Ritesh Agarwal. Yes, yes. Okay, who is this? Can you identify this or this? Who is this? Who are these two? These are also some of the average students. Oh my God, don't annotate on the content, teachers. I'll just share again. Okay. Can you tell me who are the other two? Anyone? Quickly. Okay, see the responses. Let me see the responses. Okay. Many guesses. Bhavin Agarwal, Bhavish Agarwal. No, 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 no. Ritesh Agarwal. No. Sorry. Wrong guesses. All right. No worries. Let me introduce you to the other two. Okay. Well, all the three, the common thing between all the three is all the three are Indian entrepreneurs, okay, who started their own business and became very, very successful in a short period of time. The first one, as you see, the guy with the specs is Varun Shur. Okay, he's Varun Shur, who is a self-taught programmer. Okay, Varun Shur, okay, is basically a self-taught programmer. He started web designing and other things, okay, at the age of 13, and also created his own marketplace, Kayako, in 2001, which got very, very famous. That is Varun Shur. Again, a school average student, very, very mediocre throughout his life and a dropout. The last person you see is Rahul Yadav. Rahul, okay, how many of you have you heard of housing.com? Anybody? Housing.com? It came, no, for real estate properties, housing.com. Many ads used to come in TV, a few years back. Housing.com's one of the co-founders and brains is Rahul Yadav, the person sitting right here in front of you. Though he quit later, which was a very rookie attitude, a very college student attitude, later on, right? Yes, yes, Nikhilji, the house rent. It was for real estate. Okay, that is Rahul Yadav. So just showing you some examples, how in India and across the world, something has been consistent, that it's the average people, and it's the average students who have always been able to make a mark for themselves. Such students have always came out of their cocoon and create a name for themselves, right? Now, I want to know, before I move on to the top 5 things, which you can do to make the average students, successful in life, and to make them cater, to the other students, okay, and get them ahead in the classroom. I want to ask, what did you do or planned earlier for the improvement of your students? And then I would finally discuss the ways which I have in mind. What did you do for the improvement of your students in class, कि average students भी normal students की तरह अच्छे हो? Yeah, Manish, I know, I know. Yeah, yeah, understandable actually. Um, okay, well, personal touch counseling, all right. Kashish ji, my name is Harsha Agarwal. I'm the speaker, and I'm very sorry, for my voice quality as of now. I'm sick, from the last few days, and that is why my throat is running pretty bad. I have tonsil as of now, but I really hope I get well soon. And if there's any other complaints or anything you want to say, please do message me in the chat box. Thank you. All right. Individual attention must be given. We use to clear the concept by VRL. Connect them by giving an example of practice life. Oh, you're too far is away because of 10 days annual leave. Yes, Manish, completely agreed. Oh my God. Okay, simple notes, group study. Okay. Um, take remedial classes, scaffolding of previous concepts before the actual class. Yes. What more? Okay, okay. A friend of yours, an average student in school, but done PhD now in a government. Exactly, Rupinder ji. See, this is what happens. People think average students can't do anything. They're not average because their brain doesn't work. They're average because they don't want to make their brain work. That is the only difference. All right. Loads of responses. But somewhat it's similar. More of a personal touch, and okay, it's not attention. All right, all right. So I got many responses, in the chat box as of now relating to what do you do, right, for your classes, and how do you make your classes more and more effective, right? So moving ahead to the first thing which I, have in mind, the 5 ways to improve average kids, and which can definitely work for you if the still, all your ways, okay, haven't worked still. This can definitely work for you. The first thing is using, the walk learning styles, okay. Again, as I already said during the beginning of the webinar, webinars are not about always telling you something new, but webinars are always about reinforcing the knowledge you already have, so that you can use it in the most, let's say, effective way, right, and to gain the most efficiency out of it. Okay, so using the walk learning style, okay, what is walk learning style? Just for some of you who doesn't know, one style doesn't suit all, right, and different minds have to be catered in different ways. I think it's something you all could agree upon. So like classes, like subjects, like teachers, like schools are different, people studying in it are also different, no? So how can you think कि अगर मैं बुक लाती हूँ या अगर मैं वीडियो लाती हूँ, तो from one method everybody should understand what I'm trying to teach. So if your class is of 40 minutes, it should be characterized in such a way that 10 minutes, there's a book teaching. Another 10 minutes, maybe you are using YouTube, the TED Talk videos, okay, the Netflix documentaries, or other videographies, or other mediums to cater to the auditory, to the auditory, okay, to the visual, learning needs, okay, of the child, right? To the kinesthetic needs, okay, of the child. Okay. So before I explain about the examples, I would like to talk about what does VARK learning style stands for. VARK basically means V. V means visual, A means auditory, K means kinesthetic. Okay, visual. Visual learners, they absorb the information by seeing something. You see a YouTube video, you see Netflix, you see TED Talks, okay, you see other things, you see 3D paintings, you see posters in class, you make drawings. Visual learners. Auditory learners learn by listening, some audios, some podcast, okay, or Spotify. All these, okay, you can use, okay, to teach the auditory learners, right? Kinesthetic learners, they absorb the information, okay, by moving, by doing something, by involving themselves in activity. So maybe you make them watch a Netflix documentary which relates to your topic of, let's say, plant system or the ecosystem, right? And then you make them, do the same, maybe after the class. Half is another practice session. So if you have a 40 minutes class, all I'm trying to say is characterize your class with different things every day. Plan up your classes. 10 minutes CA hai, 10 minutes it's this, 10 another 10 minutes I will do this. If 10 minutes I'm using the book, 10 minutes I'll make them, maybe make a drawing on the same, or make some cool on the same. Another 10 minutes, okay, I'll use some videos or documentaries to enhance, or encourage the classroom. Another 10 minutes, okay, will be a practical session wherein I'll allow everyone to come with me outside the classroom and absorb, okay, the same, okay, how it happens. And another 10 minutes I'll do role plays, tableaus and etc, which can again engage students, okay, in the most efficient ways, and make them feel fresh, and help gather the most attention, right? So the very first technique, for improving an average learner is a walk learning style. Average learners are not able to grab concepts, because sometimes the way you teach is not the most feasible, for them. And maybe if you characterize your classes, with all of these things together, maybe, just a minute. Rihanna ji says, shown in the screen, your voice is not audible. Is there any problem with my screen sharing or with my voice? Anybody, please, can you confirm? Any problem with my screen sharing or voice? I know I'm sick and it's a little, it's a little rough, but I'm really sorry for that, but I hope it's clear. Is my voice clear? You're able to understand everything? Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. All right. All right. All right. Bala Kumar ji has a message. Sorry for the interruption. Most of the average students, they are coming first because of not given some interest like motivation or encouraging. While seeing teachers are appreciating more to fast learners, I'm not saying it all. Only few, even I too, an average students in school days, felt low confidence in school, and same like that now child also will feel. Definitely, Bala Kumar ji. It's completely understandable your point of view. All right. Everything is fine, I think. How can we make them to write answers? Shankarji, I'll definitely come to the point. All right. I completely understand Balaji. That's very, very true, actually. Not me. I was kind of a bright student, in school as well. But my mother, when shares her story, she was also an average student, her entire life, and she was pestered a lot, by her school teachers. Yeah. So she always told me, that she faced a lot of problems, in her studies in schools, because it was a very unsupportive environment, for her overall. So I can understand, when you say such things. All right. So how can we make them to write answers, Shankarji? I will definitely come back to the point. All right. Well, so using a walk learning styles, which caters to everybody, right? Because it's very important that when you discuss something, it should cater to everybody in your classes, right? And that is why, the NEP 2020 also focuses on so many techniques of teaching, so that it caters to everyone. Learning should be equitable, right? It's very, very important, that it should knowledge should reach people in an equitable manner, in the same manner. Some cater to one aspect more, others cater to other aspect more, right? Well, yes, Savita ji, walk is basically visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, as I said. Yes, Nitamji. So basically, as you say, that most of the average students are not serious about anything, and how to control that, right? What I feel is, average students, as I told, there are several reasons. First of all, why is a student average? Okay, and secondly, Nitamji, I would like to say that, if a student is average and they're not interested, and they just want to have fun in class, give them the fun in class, but in an educational way. And that is exactly what my, motive is for the VAK learning style, that is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. You make them feel, what you're trying to teach. If they want to have fun, tell them, just give me 15 minutes to teach this concept quickly to you. After 15 minutes, I'll show you different videos on the same, for your better understanding. And then after seeing the videos, we'll go to the field, and we'll experience this particular activity, wherein we'll do role plays, etc, etc. If they want to have fun with friends, they can have fun with friends, no issues, but with education, So that can be a very good method, of controlling the same. Second thing, experiential learning. I think one or two of the educators said before as well that they are using experiential learning in their classrooms, right? And that's great. If you're using, that's very, very great. Experiential learning, for those of you who don't know, in simple terms, it's teaching the students with the help of, outside the classroom activities, right? You expose the students to things like, trips, and museum trips or camping trips or botanical gardens or zoological parks, or you take them to, certain kind of exhibitions which is related to the topic, okay, and the subject, right? If you're teaching them, let's say, how to produce wheat, can you all hear me? I just got disconnected because of my internet issues. Can you all hear me? I'm very sorry for the issue. Thank you. Thank you. Just give me 1 second and I'll share my screen again quickly. All right, all right. Thank you for the patience, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm here itself, right? I was just, it was a network issue because of the weather. Thank you for the patience. All right. So, experiential learning was the point we were discussing, right? And as I said, if some of you don't know, experiential learning is basically outside the classroom learning, wherein you make sure that if any concept, by you is taught to the student in class, let's say if for 20 minutes you teach them a particular concept in class, the rest of the 20 minutes, you take them, to some kind of, garden visit in your school, or maybe try to explain, with real life examples, right? Maybe you can tell the school, to arrange certain things, like a bone structure, or a, a dummy marrow structure. If you want to teach about the bone marrow, you can teach, you can bring these kind of things, from the school, or with the help of the school, and can teach them outside, the classroom. Because sometimes, some concepts can't be taught in the classroom, totally by just reading and writing, and paper and pen. You need some practical exposure to the same to understand it, right? If I say ki when you drive 10 kilometers, your body will pain, okay, let's say both the hands and both the legs will start paining. You have to drive 10 kilometers to experience the same, understand the same and remember the same, right? That is the one thing, which experiential learning focuses upon. Savita ji, no, kinesthetic learning and experiential learning are not exactly the same, but let's say they're 80% similar. Okay, kinesthetic learning is more about, you move students from place to place in the classroom, outside the classroom, to make them learn. Okay, and experiential learning is basically outside the classroom learning. You teach a concept in class with the help of book or any medium you want to use, but when you go, when you finally make them understand it, you take the help of experience, the physicality, the live experience, which is very important. Okay, Shankar ji, can you just elaborate what you are trying to ask? In all areas, in the sense, I didn't really catch your point, sir. Rupinder ji, if they learn by doing, they're not able to write it properly. Rupinder ji, I understand, okay? I really understand what you're saying, and I completely agree with it too. What I'm trying to say is that as a teacher, right, you can plan up the initial classes, where you teach. Okay. Let's say if Rupinder ji is a biology teacher, right, and she teaches standard 9 biology. For teaching standard 9 biology entire book or 13 chapters, Rupinder ji got 40 hours. Okay, 40 hours totally till the end of the semester to complete the particular subject. Okay, 40 classes, 40 hours. You can plan 20 classes wherein you can, use, book learning, and then you can use, field trips, or experiential learning, or, video learning, by showing something on Netflix, Amazon Prime, which can interest the students. And the rest of the 20 classes, maybe you can characterize it by, test and more practice. That is also another point, when we move ahead, and that is exactly my next point, making them practice more, okay, to increase the average student. So again, when I talk about the average students को improve करना है, it is a holistic approach. It all depends upon how you plan your curriculum and classes. How can you use a VARC learning technique, the visual, auditory, kinesthetic learning technique in some of the classes? How can you use learning only for other classes? How can you make them practice, more and more and more, in a less amount of time, to give them more efficiency and confidence in themselves? Okay, I can do this topic. Okay, I know this topic. With a little more practice, I can do wonderfully okay in this topic. right? Practice into 3x was exactly my next point. As an average student, I don't take interest in the concepts, or I don't understand the concept. To make me understand a concept, to make me interested in a concept, it's very important that I should know how to do the same, right? If it's mathematics, if it's physics, if it's biology, right, I should understand कि ये है क्या, तभी तो इंटरेस्ट आएगा ना. If you don't understand anything, will you feel interested? If there is a French movie right now, okay, which is releasing in the theater, would you people take interest to watch it? You would not know, because you don't understand it only. What is it? So the things which you don't understand, you will not take an interest in it. So the first thing is, you understand, you make them understand. And to make them understand, my last point, which talks about, this, I'll come back to this points. Okay, my last point was, yeah, ensuring group learning. All right, you have to ensure group learning. And after ensuring group learning or batch learning, कि अगर my class has 10 students who are average, अगर my class has 50 students who are average, I will pick those students and I will give 1 hour extra or 2 hours extra every week. Every week, maybe Saturday or a Sunday, I will call all these students, to the batch learning or the group learning, and wherein all these students who face problem in the particular concept can ask me as many questions as they want, and I'll clarify their doubts. After clarifying their doubts on a weekly basis, I can take a revision test for them, and after taking a revision test, maybe I can give them practice questions, for each and every week as a homework, so that they practice more and more. And as they practice more and more, they are gaining confidence, and they are improving in their grades, okay, slowly and steadily. So if you connect the points as of now, you can actually see, how it works. One thing leads to another, and so on and so forth, right? Well, so this was my one point, which I right now connected with the group learning or batch learning, wherein you pick these students, who are average in nature, and you make a separate batch of them, you make a separate class of them, you give them personal touch, as a teacher, right? And you improve them on a personal basis, as many of you said earlier, the personal touch. Okay. um well, how can you do this? Well, you can do this with the help of the homework app as well, making them practice more and more. Every time when you have, a Saturday, Sunday session with these kind of average students, after that, you can give them, maybe homeworks, every day, 10 questions each from each and every chapter, right? To make them revise through the entire week. And the more they revise, the more they practice, the less average they become. The more they revise, the more they practice, the more questions they solve, the less average they become. Because because when they see questions in the examination paper, they will not feel panicked कि, oh my god, what kind of question is this, I haven't practiced it at all. Before the examination, your aim should be to make them practice the same question at least 5 times. And you can easily do this, with the minimum of efforts, with the help of the homework app, right? So as you can see on the screen, all these benefits are there in the application, and it's completely free of cost. No subscription is asked for the same. Yeah. Well, moving ahead, dramatizing the classrooms. Okay. My fourth point of dramatizing the classrooms, basically talks about how can you make the classroom a learning ground, as well. Classroom is a space, where just students come and sit, right? But how can you actually make it a learning ground? By using these kind of things, in the classroom, right? Maybe maybe using, a formula clock like this, wherein you can see all the chemical numbers and the names and everything written here, right? This is for mathematics formula. Okay. If you use these kind of things in class, it's visible to students each and every day. Something you see for 50 to 60 days daily, won't you remember the same? Something you will remember, right? Rashida ji, I don't know what you are exactly asking, but the webinar is about how you can improve the average students. NEP guides, I don't know what are you trying to suggest, but um, okay, let me read the chat box once again. If a child is making electric circuit sitting inside the class, will we call out it as experiential learning? Savita ji, no. So Savita ji, your question of electric circuit, no, 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 that is not experiential learning, ma'am. Experiential learning is outside the classroom. I know making electric circuit is an experience and can sound like an experiential learning, but it's basically a learning technique which is outside the classroom. So if you take the children outside the classroom, make them sit in a field and give them all the things, the wires, okay, the box, etc., to make the electric circuit, that will be experiential learning. It's not a classroom learning, ma'am. Okay. Manish G says NEP guides us to ensure relativity of topic or subject with the student's daily life experience, right? Yes, definitely it does guide you to do that, because the more, and that is, I think, the basic agenda, of the competency based questions, Manish Ji, right? The competency based questions, it's the questions, which ask you how do you apply your skills and techniques in real life. Yeah, exactly. NEP do guide you for the same. Okay. um Yes, Lalita ji, everything is available. 7 to 8 lakh pre-typed questions are there, and answers to same are also available. For all the new teachers who have joined the webinar, I'll show you a short demo at the end for the application. Don't worry. Okay. Difference between kinesthetic and experiential learning. That's a question which is popping up again and again. I'll just answer the same. All right. So, okay. Experiential learning is outside the classroom learning. Just okay. Simple. You are a teacher. All right. The 265 of you, all of you are a teacher. You go to one classroom every day to teach. Okay. When you take the students outside the classroom, right? When you take the students outside the classroom, ठीक है? अगर if you teach about chemistry or physics or biology, okay, let's say you took 20 minutes to teach about a particular concept in class, and then took the other 20 minutes to take them to field trips, to museum trips, for history classes, or let's say, to some of the volcanoes, etc., etc., to show them, just to give them a real life experience, of the same, or to take them, to see alluvial soil क्या होता है, या फिर clay soil क्या होता है, etc., right? So if you take them to different places, field trips, or give them experience outside the classroom which can relate to the topic, that is experiential learning. You learn by experience outside the classroom. Whereas kinesthetic learning is more about, you move either inside the classroom. Okay, so in classroom you do certain activities like role play, simulations, or you tell them to do tableau, you tell them to do, a freeze. Okay, you tell them to do freeze frames, or you tell them to do, some clay work, group work, poster making, etc., or you take them outside the classroom. So kinesthetic learning has both in class and out class. It's an inclusion of, both. You just make the students move, to make them learn. Whereas experiential learning is just outside the classroom. It's 99% focused outside the classroom. I hope that clears it out for all, right? I really hope that it clears the doubts for all. Sunita ji, NEP guidelines, actually, I can send you, but I mean, the webinar is not about this particular topic, ma'am, sir. So I'll really beg your pardon, and I would just request all of you to not really pose questions on the NEP as of now, because the webinar, it's already like, 6:52, and the webinar is about a different topic, and it will disturb the flow of the webinar. Yeah, dramatizing is actually easy. Manish ji, you can actually use, something called role on the wall. I discussed it in one of my webinars. Role on the wall is a very, very good thing, for English subjects, wherein you character sketch, a character, on the board or on, big chart papers, and you stick in the classroom. It's beautiful role on the wall technique. All right. Yes, Rupinder ji. Yes, definitely. So you can dramatize the classrooms, like this as shown, on the screen, right? This is basically again a 3D image. So you can take a printout of such kind of images, and you can give to each and every groups, of 5 or 10, and you can tell them, to mark the same. What is what, where is the I don't know, what are the parts called? I have forgotten, but yeah, maybe where is, this part, where is the mitochondria, okay, where is the granula, etc., etc., right? So these kind of things, create interest in the classroom, and create drama. It can dramatize, okay, the classroom a lot, right? Again, the third image is for English. Merchant of Venice, right? All the English teachers, do you remember the Merchant of Venice? The cascade, the three cascades, and one of, if you open one of them, you get to marry Portia, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Um so so this third image is for the English teachers. So whatever subjects, whatever topics, or whatever book you are teaching as of now, you do some images, from them like this, which can interest students a lot, which can help them remember. If I show you this image, in a particular classroom where I'm teaching Merchant of Venice as an English subject or as a board book, right? You will remember it for life, right? Ki, oh, ma'am showed that image, in that class, where there was a skull and this key. So they can formulate their own answers and write as well. So very important to dramatize the classroom. Mufida ji, I'm telling you, role on the wall is basically what you do is you take a character. Okay, let's say you are teaching, a particular topic in which there are three characters. So I'll take one character. Let's say I'll take the character of Harsha. Okay, I'll take the character of Harsha. I'll draw a basic figure, on the particular chart paper or board, and then I'll character sketch Harsha. Harsha is dark. Harsha is, let's say, short, or Harsha is tall. She has pimples. Okay, she doesn't have pimples. Harsha is very, very naughty, or Harsha is very, very stubborn. She's not great. She is very, very disrespectful, or Harsha is very, very knowledgeable. Right? These kind of character sketching is done, on posters and walls, and which you can stick on the classroom, so that every time a students enter the classroom, you can see these things, again and again. Okay, and then you can connect with the same and remember. Please show the slide on point 3. Oh, sure, Krishna ji. I'll show you right now. I'll show you right now. Okay. I'll show you. Yeah, this is the point slide 3. Practice into 3x. Very nice discussed, you should practice, you should make them practice as much as you can. And I connected my third point with my fifth point, that is group learning or batch learning. Jahan par you divide students into small batches, the average students take, separate classes for them, connect with them personally, know their doubts, cater to their doubts, and make them practice a lot in a very short period of time. Okay, and which you can also do with the help of the homework app. 7 to 8 lakh pre-typed questions. You don't have to type the questions on your own, and you can just select the questions from any chapter, any book you want, and share in an instant as well. There are gamified quizzes, there is blue economy, there are competitive questions, there are case study questions, assertion based. Everything is there in the application, so you can use the same to give loads and loads of practice questions and improve the average students as well, right? Well, this was my fourth point, of dramatizing the classroom. I got some interesting content on the same, so I just presented on the screen, right? Slide 4. Oh yes, Nikhilji, yes, slide 4 is here, sir. You can have a look. Slide 4 is here. Thank you, Rimaji. Thank you. Means a lot, all your positive comments. Thanks, Yanituji. Yeah. All right. This is there. And then group learning, we already discussed. Well, pointer, right? So we already discussed, the top 5 things you need to do to make the students, uh, to make the students, from average to competitive, in the classroom, right? These are the top 5 things, right? Now, just a bonus pointer for all of you. The sixth point, is motivation and encouragement, that you are enough, go for it, prove them wrong, and so much, more is there to tell the students, right? Motivation as a teacher is very, very important, because maybe the motivation which you provide them in the classroom, by maybe gifting them a simple pen, or gifting them, a simple praise, in front of all, is something which they are not getting at homes, something which they are not getting in the classroom, sorry, something which they are not getting from the peers, or from their home, or from anybody else, right? So encouragement, motivation, very, very, very important. Okay. 1 minute. Oh, Kalyanji, can we get handout to retrospect? Can you please elaborate the question? What do you exactly mean? Do you mean the PPT? Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. It means a lot, to see such positive comments. Balaji, I again agree completely with your question, and that is why I said you don't have to be too strict, you don't have to be too lenient, you have to take a balanced approach to classes, right? So many teachers do this. They know, when to be strict, when to make the students listen to them, and they know when to be friendly with the kids, that okay, this is the time for gala time, or a chat time. They have fun with the students. As a teacher, in your entire career, just tell me one thing, everyone. As a teacher in your entire career, do you have ever tried to go in between the classroom and sit on a bench and interact with all the students, and have fun? Have you done that? Just tell me that. Neetuji has done that. Oh my God. So it's so nice. That's great. Please do this at least once a week with your class. You will connect with your students on a level which you haven't connected. Go in between in your classroom, behave like a student sometimes, feel like a student. It's only a student who can make you feel like a student. Just remember this information from my end. Okay. So do this, motivate them, encourage them, feel motivated, teach, get taught, learn more and more, and never stop learning. Even if you're 60, even if you're 65, have a think, I have to never stop learning. That is very important, right? Recording of the webinar, Shalini ji, will be on the YouTube channel of the homework app. The other recordings are also there. You can watch all the webinars of mine, that's Harsha Agarwal, on the YouTube channel of the homework app. Thank you. And you can also find me on LinkedIn, everyone. If you want, I can share my LinkedIn details with all of you, or you can just find me on LinkedIn with the name Harsha Agarwal if you want to connect. And the recording will be there on the YouTube channel of the homework app. All right, I'm sending the link, for the same, the attendance form link. Do join the WhatsApp group during the end. Don't miss that, please. Otherwise, you won't be able to participate, in the particular homework app, Smart Teacher Festival, and you will miss a chance, to earn the reward. All right. Okay. Here is the form link for all of you in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Sending the form. Here is it. Oh, thank you so much, everyone, for the comments. It's really encouraging, when I hear these things, for my sessions. Um, oh, thanks, Neetu ji. That's very thoughtful of you, ma'am. That's very thoughtful. Thank you. I really hope I get better till the next session. The next section we'll be having, on the art of communication, an era of holistic. And that is my next session. That is on Thursday. Please do join, bring other friends and colleagues, to join as well. Art of communication will be very interesting because I read a lot of books. I can show you something right now. If the teachers can see me on camera right now, I'll show you something. Just a minute. I'll pin myself. Okay. Right now, I'm reading this book. As you can all see, that's APJ Abdul Kalam. I read a lot of books on communication, classic authors, and something very interesting which you will not get on Google will be the next session, the art of communication. Something different, something interesting, something which the Google will not show you, if you search directly, right? So do next session on Thursday, and another session will be on Saturday this week as well. So yeah, we'll be waiting for all of you to join the same. And the form is in the chat box. Do fill the form, and after filling the form, you all can leave the particular webinar. Thank you. Certificates will reach to all of you in 24 hours, okay, by the app, by the homework app team itself, in your mails. In your emails only you will get the certificate. And everyone, thank you so much for all the comments and motivation. It means a lot. And thank you for tolerating my course voice as well. That means a lot too. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Sushil ji. Thank you. Means a lot. All right, Shikha ji. Perfect. So yeah, the form link is there. Do fill the form by 7:10 p.m. Rupinder ji, I think you should ask the app representatives, in the WhatsApp group only. They will answer you the same, ma'am. I don't know. I mean, I'm not working in, as an app representative. I work in collaboration with the homework app and team, for the webinars. So yeah, thank you, Shankar ji. Do connect with me on LinkedIn, so we can also have, a long-term, relationship, for the webinars. Many more webinars to go ahead, and you can join, from there as well. So yeah. Thank you, Neetu ji. Oh my God, Neetu ji, you're really sweet. Thank you. I'll definitely get well soon. Umakala ji, the recording of the session will be there on YouTube. I'm not allowed to share the PPT. So the recording will be there in the homework app channel, YouTube. You can find it there.